Charles III is continuing his tour to all corners of his kingdom, meeting and greeting on a trip that has the hallmarks of a political visit aimed at shoring up support. The Queen's body will soon be taken from Buckingham Palace to Westminster. And in Windsor, her home where she'll eventually be laid to rest, the mood is that of a slightly sad festival. Many have come simply to be part of history.
We're now going through a period where we've got a new Prime Minister, we've got a new King, the economy is looking very dicey, and there is a genuine sense of don't know what's coming.
It has pleased Almighty God.
Chris Brown is the official town crier and in normal times shouts local news in the main street.
Our late sovereign lady, Queen Elizabeth II of blessed and glorious memory.
He concedes some here think the long mourning period and tour for Her Majesty's coffin is a bit drawn out, but believes they're in the minority.
Obviously there will be people who will say that's enough, and the world has changed, so the opportunities to say it, which used to be down the pub, now are on social media, and so thousands and thousands of people hear it. But yes, there will be a bit of an outcry, but there probably was back in 1952.
At the Royal Hospital in Chelsea, a famous home to British Army veterans, there are a few who remember 1952. And the local padre is part of this week's pomp and pageantry. He'll keep watch and pray over Her Majesty's coffin today. All here swore an oath to the sovereign. Some served in the Queen's bodyguard and are still deeply upset by her death.
It's unbelievable that she's not there now.
You know, you've got a queen as a head of the country. It shows that women can do anything, if you like, and she was the prime leader in that situation.
The late Queen will lie here in state in Westminster for the next 4 days. It's part of a series of carefully choreographed events to farewell Her Majesty, but also to cement her son, King Charles, into power. And because this expensive exercise comes amid a cost of living crisis in Britain and concerns about rising inequality, not everyone here is entirely okay with it. Barrister Paul Polsland was confronted by police near Big Ben. He was carrying a blank placard and says he was told he could be arrested if he wrote the words "Not my king" on it.
And I was really concerned that in this big moment of national mourning that maybe alternative opinions about the monarchy were being a bit squashed by the police.
Do you have a strong alternative opinion about the monarchy?
I didn't until this week.
Right.
Like a lot of British people last week, I was vaguely ambivalent. But really what I've experienced this week has really turned me into a Republican.
There have been other incidents with protesters and police elevating the issue slightly in Britain.
Charles has been, I think, quite nakedly political in using this time period. You know, they can announce he's king and they can then maybe wait until after the funeral, but they've done all these announcements across the country with trumpeters and people in robes, and he addressed Parliament yesterday as the new king and told us all we're his subjects. And I think if you're going to do that, then I, as one of your apparent subjects, have a right to say, well, I don't agree. You're not my king.
The whole royal family is a leftover from feudalism. It's an anachronism. It is an institution that is well past its sell-by date.
Peter Tatchell is an Australian-born human rights activist who has been involved in left-wing British politics and the Republican cause. He hopes the change in monarch will see King Charles and the royal family get much more scrutiny.
He is going out of his way to meet and greet, to project himself as being in his mother's shoes in order to win over the doubters and naysayers. That is quite clearly a PR exercise, and much of the media in this country is going along with it. They're not reporting the news, they are doing PR and spin for King Charles and the royal family.
There are these symbols of continuity. The flag still flies, the monarch still exists, we still have a monarch. It's just we have a different monarch.
The royal coverage still hasn't hit its crescendo. There are 5 more days until the funeral, which will stop this nation and mark the end of the official period of national mourning.